Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Shogun Social Media Podcast, where every week we go through the world of social media, things we love, things we hate, industry news, and helpful tips for brands or individuals as well. My name is George. We also have
Freddie.
And we also have a brand new person.
Liv, hi.
Yeah. So Liv's brand new member of the Shogun team. Can you please tell us a bit, Liv? What are you doing here? What's your job title? What's your role? What's going on?
Okay, so I am a new social media manager at Shogun Social. And yeah, predominantly been working in film and TV in social media for the last 8 years. And here I am, and I'm excited to be here.
That's really cool. Yeah, this is a really strange one because this is your first day and you're
is.
doing a podcast recording. So that's really weird.
Yeah.
But
Shout out, Liv.
yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. So what it means is we'd like to know a bit more about you now. So film and TV.
Yes.
You were talking a minute ago about horror specifically. Is that right?
Yeah,
Horror
so,
films?
well, I'm a massive fan of horror.
Yeah.
And I think, Jaws was the first film when I was 6 that I watched and got into and was, completely obsessed and fascinated by. Steven Spielberg, massive idol of mine. And got really into, storytelling, essentially. And I feel like horror is a really great genre for doing that. And then I started up a blog. And over the 6 years I started that, I grew quite a big community online. And then through Instagram, was connecting with people from Disney and Marvel and things like that, big companies like that. And just giving out free writing and filmmaking tips. And then kind of from there got into social media and marketing. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
I didn't know that. I'm learning that for the first time.
Okay.
I already knew.
You already knew that,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I think James might have mentioned that to
Yeah.
me. But I didn't know you were it grew from a blog.
Yeah,
That you were messaging
yeah.
Disney people then.
Yeah, literally.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so I live in Salisbury, and it's kind of like something out of The Hobbit. It's beautiful, but completely in the middle of nowhere. And just sat in my bedroom, and I had been trying to get into the film industry, but to have an internship or anything, you still needed 3 years, 4 years of experience. It was so impossible to get hold of any opportunities, and so I kind of felt rather than waiting for a gatekeeper, I was just going to create the opportunities for myself. So yeah, in my bedroom through Instagram.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we've all kind of had similar things like that, haven't we? Where we've grown a little platform.
Still
ourselves.
can, yeah. Every person here has something like that.
Yeah,
which is brilliant.
Yeah, I think is that a deliberate thing by James. I don't know, maybe it is. Whereas it's people. We've all tried to grow a little platform ourselves. That's absolutely awesome. Yeah, and I imagine Salisbury is like the Shire. Dorset as well. Dorset is an absolute Shire. It seems like Tolkien went to Dorset and just wrote.
100%.
It's so strange. It's like walking through the Shire. Yeah, that's so cool. Well, in the podcast, every episode we're chatting about industry news and things. Normally, Freddie goes first with his industry news in the world of social media. So, Freddie, what's been happening this week?
This week, I always talk about Twitter, and I was going to give an update on Elon Musk, but he's had enough airtime on this channel. Yeah. So Twitter has now released the first phase of the edit button. We discussed it in a previous one, but I'll give you the rundown. So on the 1st of September, they did the first phase. In that phase is you can only edit it for the first 30 minutes. You can edit it a few times, but it has an icon on there. So if someone says something hateful, they can't just backstep and it gets deleted forever. Within that as well, you click the icon and it gives a breakdown of history of the tweet. So if you changed it 20 times, give you an exact breakdown of each step, which I thought was really good. But also not the text, you can do video and the image. So you could completely scrap it and just start again and it won't get deleted.
That's incredible. That's so strange, isn't it? You said this idea that if it recognizes that it's a hateful tweet, it will permanently stay.
No. So if someone does something hateful, they can't just backtrack and go, "Oh, I never said that." You can see the exact history, like
the edit
an
history.
internet browser. You can see the exact history.
accountability, isn't it? Which I think is really important. I think there's been a culture growing of people being quite dismissive with their words, and I think obviously we're seeing how toxic that's been throughout social media.
Sure. Yeah, that's really interesting. So, it's good that you can see the edit history, because I was thinking someone could. I think I've seen a Reddit thread of that exact thing where someone posted this Reddit thread and said, "Okay, I'm going to change the title of this thread to anything you want," or all the comments. So he would do these comments, and people would do these outrageous things, and then he'd have to change the top. So it'd be. I mean, you can imagine what that was like.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious. It was all a big joke. But just you can imagine that happening with Twitter, where someone just swaps one word around, and suddenly it's a completely different tweet, and it's got all these replies underneath. Yeah.
But it has not everyone can get it. But the first phase is out for Twitter Blue. It's called, so it's like a premium that you can pay on there. But it's coming. Everyone will have it eventually, is what the source said.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's so strange, isn't it, that these huge social media brands, the social media platforms, they will have all these features that are so basic, but they're so institutionalized in what it already is like, that the idea of releasing an edit button is a big deal. You know,
Strange. It is strange.
Yeah, like we were talking recently about how TikTok are seemingly the only video sharing platform that allow you to just go click download. It's just like, you can't do that on YouTube. No. There's no download button on YouTube unless you have YouTube Premium, in which case it doesn't even properly download anyway. Whereas TikTok just said, yeah, share our videos, go ahead. Also, whereas, yeah, it's such a simple thing, like an edit button.
It can work for, I've done a tweet before and it's gone, it picks up traction, you go, oh, it's got a typo in it. So it's not just like the hateful things, it can work for businesses as well. So, if you do have a successful tweet and you've got a typo in it, I mean, now you've either got to delete it or you just let it go and get the engagement with the typo.
Yeah, that is amazing, isn't it? Was it the edit button? Anything else in that like latest update? Like, as they just said, here is the edit button.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. They said it's the most requested thing changed to the platform, which is unsurprising. I saw as well on there that they're launching podcasts, or they have launched podcasts on Twitter, which I find a bit strange, to be honest. I know they do spaces, and I've jumped into a space actually and talked in there, which I thought was really good. But I don't know if I'd go on there to listen to a podcast because it's so fast-paced, and podcast basically is the alternative to that. So,
for brands, that's going to be the real benefit, isn't it? Because straight away we might think, oh yeah, that means people can be funny on Twitter and then take it back or edit it or whatever. Whereas when you think about, from a serious point of view, social media marketing, a brand, if they notice a typo or if they want to change their price, if they, buy our product, it's £20. Oh no, it's gone up to 40. Let's just change it. Like that, there's a real benefit there, isn't it? Because I think that permanence might be a scary thought to some brands. Social media.
I guess it's limiting, isn't it, in some way? Like you say, if they want to change the price or something, or there's like a promo event or code or something, then they have the ability to change that.
Yeah. Does that mean, in the same way, this is just like nonsense now, but in the same way that like people will purchase an NFT of a tweet, that's going to stay for a long time now, isn't it? Because like owning a tweet is seemingly a URL. Yeah. So what it means is that when you're editing a tweet, you're editing the visuals of a URL. Yeah. So it's not as though that tweet will stay the same forever. Oh, I don't know.
That's a bit deep, mate, for a Monday morning.
That is a bit deep.
Like
I need to stop thinking.
No, but very true. Very true. I think it's good that you have the history. I think it's a good thing because there's been so much bad press for Twitter recently. I think now that they've got, this is a positive. I saw a lot of positive comments online about this, so we'll see. There was no deadline, though, for when it will be rolled out, so we'll see. Hopefully this year.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a nice update. And that's a big update if you're into social media. It's the kind of thing where if you're not into social media, who cares?
You'll be like, cool.
Because that's so minor. Yeah, an edit button. But no, if you're into social media, we get why that's a big deal. Because Twitter is so about just people going, oh, here's some random shit I'm just going to type. And it just means nothing. Whereas now an edit button, that is actually quite a big deal. Yeah, interesting. My creator highlight, because I do creator highlight every week, Liv. So I look at my favorite accounts or people, whatever that I found. It can be anything, really. My one this week, I actually found it a couple of weeks ago, is called Karen's Diner on Instagram.
Big up, Karen.
Have you heard of Karen's Diner? You have heard of Karen's Diner?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I love it.
Someone else heard of one of my creator highlights. Yeah, so the reason that they're my highlight is not just because I think they're doing cool stuff. I think it was interesting. So Karen's Diner, the way that they do it, it's a real restaurant in, I think, America, of course. And the way they work it is their marketing is entirely based around the kind of arsehole Karen meme, where their staff are deliberately like horrible to the customers. And that's the whole point. Yeah. So people will walk in, table for two, please, and they'll be like ignored, or be sworn at, or something like that. And that's the whole point in the restaurant. And their social media does it so well because you're browsing it. Like, I think I found it because I just found it on the Explore tab on Instagram. And I thought, is that waiter swearing at that customer? And like, they genuinely were. And then I clicked it, and all these photos are of like the waiters just like giving the middle finger to all of their customers. It was so funny. And I just thought that from a social media point of view, it's A, incredibly unique, and B, I went back down to the start of their account, from a few years. I just scrolled, and they started off as a regular restaurant, like photos. It was just photos like, here's our plate of food. Just a photo of their food. Yeah. And then they evolved into like embrace the marketing. Yeah. I thought that was so fascinating from a social media marketing point of view.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of makes me think of when they say like no press is bad press. You know, like it's because it's quite polarizing to see that, you know, for the first time. I think I found it the same way on like the Explore page on TikTok. And this like elderly couple had been taken there by their son, and they didn't know that it was like Karen's Diner, and they were made to wear like hats which said like dickhead on or something.
Yeah,
and they were like, oh my God, what the hell? And so it's funny, and then you go back and you realize that's their whole like brand, and I just think it's really clever because it gives them like a limitless, like endless amount of ways that they can be promoted through other people, you know, filming their experiences that they don't even have to kind of do anything. So
yeah, it is interesting, and like I said, I thought it was fascinating that they started off as a regular restaurant account, and I feel like it gives hope for these brands who are maybe a bit scared of social media, because we see that, don't we?
Yeah,
in our history, we've seen that as an agency, that some brands are a bit, you know, it's nothing to criticize the brand over, but it's just natural to go, okay, the world of social media is a big, wide, scary world, when in reality it's not.
No.
It's not like authenticity will rise to the surface, and if you're doing something different, it will rise to the surface. Yep. One of the most boring, worst things you can do on social media is just to do what everyone else is doing. Do the safe thing. Like, don't do the safe thing on social media. Do what Karen's Diner does, and just embrace their marketing uniqueness.
I'd love to be in that meeting when they went, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's rebrand. Yeah. Let's turn into a Karen, one massive Karen, and share it to the world. But I think it's brave. I think it's good. Fresh as well. I see so many restaurants, like you said, where it's like, here's my spaghetti bolognese, hashtag spaghetti, and they've got like 30 hashtags, and it looks nothing different to what my nan cooks. So,
yeah, here's a photo, Freddie. We can put it up on screen now, but it's things like that. Well, I could be a happy customer, but the waiter's just like swearing at them in the background.
How many followers do they have?
68,000 on Instagram. And you say they have TikTok as well?
Yeah, they have TikTok as well.
Wow, impressive. Yeah, we'll put a picture up. That's...
Yeah, I thought it was so cool. And yeah, it's just, as I say, a brand embracing what makes them different. Like what we saw, just trying something different. I mean, they're doing it in the long term, but when a brand just tries something different on social media, it can really work well. Like when we saw Mercedes F1 do a silly little graphic design parody thing, and that went really big, and we noticed it because it was just something different. Yeah.
Looking at their feed, they've absolutely smashed. So it's obviously based on experience, but they've absolutely smashed it on social. I can already see, I'm going to go there. I'm going to get that on my head. I'm going to get sworn at. I'm going to be treated badly, but I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Statement.
Yeah. Lol. It's the whole point is that it's like, if you were to argue that marketing inherently doesn't make money, it's solely there to bring people into your business, then that is 100% successful marketing, because people go, that looks hilarious, I'm going to buy. I'm going to go and visit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is arguably what the whole point of marketing is. It's not there to make money. It's there to just bring people in so then you can make money. Yeah. I think it was just such an interesting piece of social media marketing. Yeah, there's someone putting a bag on someone else's head. That's so good. Oh, yeah, that's really good.
Yeah,
nice. We'll put that on screen.
Good.
Yeah, that's all good. Yeah, so that is my creator highlight of the week. Liv, do you have anything to discuss? So obviously this is your first time meeting us, let alone recording a podcast. Do you have anything in the world of social media?
I do. I have a little note here. So something that I have seen on TikTok, I'm on TikTok pretty much every day, and UGC content creators are like booming on TikTok. And if you're not familiar with UGC, it means user generated content. And I think the reason why major brands like GoPro, Gymshark are starting to look towards UGC content creators is because it's actually cheap, authentic way of creating promotional material, promotional marketing. And basically UGC content has proven to have like a 400% click-through rate over traditional media, which I think is incredible. So it's really showing like a major shift away from social media influencers, because I think audiences are really just getting bored of the whole polished and paid for advertising, and they don't feel like they can fully trust in what's being promoted. And the beauty about UGC creators is that, you know, people like us, we can just create whatever we want to create with major brands and products that we have, and it's still going to get the attention of these huge brands. And these brands are looking to obviously pay you for your work. And you don't have to have a massive following or anything. So I think that's amazing that we really have the power at the tips of our fingers with our phones.
Yeah, and when you say we in this context, you don't mean we an agency. You mean we as in a user.
Not we as an agency, as like members of the public. You don't have to have like 10,000 followers. And if you want to be in connection with, I don't know, a major fashion house or something, you can still just create with something that you have at home.
Yeah.
Like with Gymshark, I saw something on TikTok, and it was a woman who'd gone to the gym, was obviously wearing like a Gymshark outfit, and had like a motivational conversation with somebody at the gym. And it wasn't, it's not even necessarily typical marketing material, but because they were at the gym wearing the outfits, Gymshark tagged them and said, this is the kind of like sisterhood bond that we want to see, that kind of thing. And I thought, that's really interesting. You don't have to like break the bank to be able to create this kind of content.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on TikTok, a lot of people are jumping onto that. You can create a free portfolio on Canva and, put that in your link. And from there, brands are finding you and coming with opportunities.
I feel like influencer and influencer market is almost like a cup of tea, right? But it's spilled over. Influencer, everyone uses that every day, almost like everyone's an influencer, right, in their own right. And I see more and more brands do it where they say, hey, you've used our coffee mug, can we use your video? So much more engaging. I enjoy that more as a consumer rather than, hey, this is someone off Love Island.
Yeah, right. Yeah, some brands do get clever with it as well. Like I have worked for a brand that didn't use the word, what's the word? It didn't use the word like collaborator or paid actor or something. I used a different word, like it was ambassador, and it's good. They weren't paid, so they weren't lying. It's true, they are ambassadors for the brand, but it's just still that. It's different ways of calling it that, isn't it?
Yeah, Dior do that. They have Mbappe, the footballer, and he's a influencer, but they just call it ambassador for the brand.
Sure,
same thing.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's all good. And that's not lying, because I don't know what Mbappe's involvement is exactly, but I know with my brand that I used to work with, they had these ambassadors who genuinely did really like the product. So they weren't just empty shells that were being paid to hold something up. Like it was actually, they really liked the product. Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah. No, you're right. That's been around. Like when you think of social media overall, that's been around from the start. And that's the whole point. It's user-generated stuff. Like that's what it did. They said, you post stuff. And so that's never going to die, I imagine. Quite interesting. Is there any hot takes that we can discuss then, Freddie? Because we'll have a bit at the end where we'll just go through random bits that we like to chat about, like, oh, here's a stupid opinion that we have or something. Freddie, what's your hot take of the week?
So every week I say a marketing collab, and no different this week. So Balmain have done a collaboration with Pokemon, right? So I did some research into it as well. We throw some images up on screen, so the creative director loves the pop aesthetic of Pokemon. That's why he's reached out and created this massive range. Has Pikachu all over it. I didn't see any other Pokemons, which was quite interesting. And basically what they've done is they've taken the famous Balmain pieces, I found out, and they basically splashed Pikachu all over it. I'm seeing jeans halfway down. They go from jeans to bright yellow. Don't know who's wearing that, but bags, and just it's another collaboration where I think I'd never put them together.
No.
Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? Do you think that came together mainly for the purpose of social media, or is it like they came together for some kind of other strange marketing reason?
I think marketing. I think brands are being more clever. I saw the other day actually another one is Primark have teamed up with Greggs. You seen that?
Yes, I have seen that.
Greggs swim shorts, Greggs hoodies. Another, you'd be like, why would I wear that? Went for a walk with my mum and dad actually. I saw someone wearing a Greggs hoodie and I thought, who let you out of the house?
Yeah.
But all these brands are coming. They're almost thinking, who's random? Who's popular? Who's random? Who can we collaborate with?
Yeah.
Pokemon. Net is never going to die. And Greggs. UK people that have culture will understand that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think hitting the social media angle of that, more than just the collaboration itself, but I saw originally the Greggs clothes in Primark, but then a week later or something I saw a post on the Archbishop of Canterbury of that collab. So it was just like just a photo, and the caption was like, who the hell is buying this or something?
Yeah.
And it was
Did you buy it?
I probably would. I'd buy it. I don't know if I'd wear, it depends on what it was. If it was like a Greg's Primark branded, I don't know, watch strap, then I would.
Swimming shorts. Would you wear them around the pool?
Yeah, I certainly would. Yeah. There's got to be some pun there about like a sausage roll or something. I don't know.
I love it. I think it's brilliant. But yeah, I saw this all. I saw it on social media actually. And what they've done is they'd overlaid the images, so it would be like an image, and then another one within that. Played with image overlay to create these really unique pieces. But again, it's working. We're sat here talking about it. Talked about Lacoste last week. No doubt I'll talk about another one next week.
Yep, no, that's very interesting. And I suppose with these things, you've got to consider the social media as well. I mean, that's what why we're here talking about it. If you look at Greg's official Instagram account, for example, how much of this is the Primark collab? There is some. So there's this guy here wearing there we go. I just clicked on the Greg's Primark video. Yeah. So, because of course, these collabs, we're talking about how much they spill into social media, of course, don't they? So that is quite an interesting one. They're not ashamed of it or whatever. It's something where they both say, yes, we hit a certain price point. Because that's, of course, that's Greg's and Primark. People go there because they hit a certain price point. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's why the collab works. And very interesting.
These pieces for Balmain, they're literally the polar opposite to Primark. They were thousands for bags, jackets. There's awful jeans. I would wear Greg's socks, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, socks. I think
that's edgy.
Yeah, they got to be up high enough to show off.
Yeah, like football socks all the way up.
Yeah. That's the next collab. FIFA and Greg's.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, my hot take is just kind of a minor one, really. It's more like just how valuable social media is as a messaging platform. And I don't mean that in terms of like, oh, there's outreach we can do for marketers. I don't mean that. I mean like socially. Mm-hmm. So we so often consider social media platforms to be content absorption. Like we sit down and we absorb content. But in reality, it is the way that you talk to your mum sometimes, something like that. Mm-hmm. And there are brands where I have followed them just to message them. So like I wanted to find out recently about West Key, because West Key last year or a couple of years ago, whenever, they did Wimbledon showing on the big screen outside. Yeah. And it was before the pandemic actually, I think. And I went to that with my school friends. It was awesome, but I wanted to find out when and if they were doing it this year. Mm-hmm. I went to their website and I couldn't find any dates. So I then followed their Instagram account to message them. I had no interest really in kind of like getting on the West Key content absorption. I like it now, but at the time I just wanted to message them and that's it. And I thought, okay, let's go to Instagram. I didn't think of calling them. I think at that point I did. I had called them and I didn't get any answers. Then I messaged them. But my point is that I went to social media to message. Mm-hmm. Nothing to do with content, nothing to do with Instagram stories being clicked through and what's the kind of like CTR and engagement rate. Yeah. I don't care. I went to Instagram to message them. I just thought it was such a kind of an aspect of social media that we don't really talk about.
Yeah, no, that's true. I definitely do the same.
Right. Platform to platform, it changes as well. So, example, Twitter, I follow Las Iguanas, and I think it's like BA Help. They have their own, but the same thing where I go, oh, I'm going to follow you in case I ever need you again. Yeah, you're there ready. Mm-hmm. But I never look at what BA are tweeting their customers to help.
Yeah. The content of what BA are doing, because you couldn't care less. But like, they're there to message.
Yeah, and then the same as LinkedIn as well. People use it for sales. Twitter's help, and then Instagram, same. I message brands sometimes. Did they reply, by the way?
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Yeah. Interestingly, they replied to my Instagram message and not my phone call. There was, it's not a big deal. It just means that at that time, no one was there to answer, but they answered my Instagram message. Yeah, so it's just the value of social media there as a messaging service, and it's nothing really to do with content. Yeah, and that's it anyway. Do you have any hot take? Anything else to discuss or not really?
Yeah, no, I do have something. I don't think it's too much of a hot take though, because I was speaking to Freddie about this earlier and it seems that you guys have kind of heard about this already, which is BeReal. It's not actually a new app. I think it's been around since 2019.
Yeah,
right, okay.
It's become huge this year. I wrote down that it's had 3.3 million downloads this year alone, which is insane. And it's kind of known as the anti-Instagram because you're only given, I think, like a 2-minute window to post once a day, and it's all completely unfiltered, raw, authentic, which I think is really interesting. And I didn't realize, because I haven't got the app, I haven't experienced it yet, but lots of people are talking about it, because if you take a picture, it also takes a picture of like you taking
Yeah,
the picture,
yeah, it's
which
funny.
is crazy. But what was interesting and what I'd seen this week is that brands like Chipotle and Love Island and Pakistan are getting in on it and starting to use it as a way of creating marketing content. So there's this whole debate of, are you able to do this as a brand if you're not really doing it for authentic reasons? Like if you're doing it just to market for the sake of it, like you're not really going to see the benefit of it. But if you're really there to build like trust in your community and that kind of thing, then you'll probably see benefits. So.
That Love Island one's really interesting because they are sometimes seen as fake. It's fair to say.
I will not hear this.
No, Cooper. No, but that's really interesting. I used it and then I was like, nah, I don't know. But for brands to use it, I think
that's a big step.
Yeah.
That's a big step for brands to use it. Well, what put you off using it?
One, I was sat at my desk. I sit on my if I'm at home, I'll sit at my desk. But even on weekends, I like to work or like play Football Manager or whatever, right? And I was like, I'm just taking the same photo either of my screen or whatever. But also, I think the concept is good, authentic 2 minutes, back and front camera, and you can see your friends at work, you can see brands doing this. But I was like, it's a bit boring for me.
Sure. Yeah, you would need to be doing something different. And it's the kind of thing where if you're planning for it by making sure you do something interesting, then it defeats the purpose. It's not fake. It's not authentic, it's fake. Yeah, so I suppose it's a kind of cycle, isn't it? It's like either you make it fully authentic and it's completely random, or you stick back to Instagram, back to square one.
Some people I know, and I know Amy's sister does it, she said that, where they're like, oh my God, it's coming up. Right, we've got to get it.
Yeah, right.
But then I think, but all you're doing is just taking a photo. Like, if it came out now, I'd just take a photo of the camera, right?
Yeah.
So it's no big deal. And also, I think no one's waiting to see what I'm doing in my day, really.
Sure. I suppose that begs the bigger question, though. We're thinking right now, we're chatting as photo takers. Now imagine if you're just browsing. Why do you browse the app? Why would you browse it?
I've seen actually you can browse and connect with random people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like all over the world. So one person added me, and they were when I first started doing it, and it was a guy from South America, right? And he was on a beach, and I thought I must have been on his like explore page or whatever it is. Maybe to find different cultures, foods, industries, but
I get what the appeal is. I just mean if we consider that someone's browsing BeReal because they want to see cool things, then that inherently means the most successful posts will be the cool ones. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? Where it's like it's destined to fail because only the most interesting posts will be seen. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, no. When I was going through my feed, I saw everyone was uploading, but no one was engaging.
Yeah, because they were all boring.
Yeah.
Because they're all just random and authentic. Yeah,
and that's part of my. That's one thing that put me off. I was like, well, no one's engaging. No one's.
Yeah.
Well, what's the point? Might as well put it up on Instagram.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is like, maybe that's why it's. I mean, you say it's got loads of downloads, and that's really cool.
Yeah, as I said, I haven't had any personal experience using this app yet. I've just heard about it, but like in regards to like Chipotle using it, they were they put up a picture of a paper bag and they just wrote some codes, but obviously it was exclusive to the people on BeReal, and they would get a free meal, which I thought was really interesting. But there's only so many times you can do that until it gets.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That's clever marketing, but it's just not BeReal, is it? No. That's not authentic. That's a pre-planned marketing plan where they had to green light it with their director, and then that's not authentic.
That's what some brands are doing. I remember, I think it was AU Vodka. Shock, I'm talking about them again, but I think they launched a product, and the front camera was really close to the product, and then I can't remember what it was, but it was the same thing where it was obviously planned. It was taken on someone's personal one, obviously. But I thought, yes, but also I thought you've just gone against everything the platform stands for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sad. Do you know if they do paid ads on BeReal?
I don't think they do. From the research that I've done, from what I've seen recently, I think that they're saying that it's actually a very limited app in regards to being able to brand and use it for marketing, which is why when I saw that brands were already starting to do that, I think they're trying to jump ahead of like the influx of people using like TikTok and stuff. But I don't know, maybe it's on like a time limit for how
Yeah, because I bring that up because, let's be real, Instagram and Facebook and all these social media platforms are a business where we are not the customers. Mm-hmm. We are the product that's being sold to these advertisers. So the only reason that all these big ones have been surviving so long is because of advertisers paying them. If there are no advertisers on BeReal, surely it's going to die. How are they making money?
Yeah, that's it. How are they going to make money? But I think Instagram, have they launched it already? They're literally like just stealing BeReal into their app again. And then, I don't know. They're just like, Instagram's now just a mash of little bits.
Yeah.
So is YouTube.
Yeah, and
I think they all are.
They all are to an extent. I feel like TikTok's standing on its own though.
Yeah, well, could you argue that Twitter Blue is borrowed from someone else and the edit button is borrowed from someone else? Maybe not. I don't know.
Twitter always stood on its own where it's like, yeah, we're here. They don't encourage people to be offensive about what we said last time where it's like, you have to have an opinion. So it's interesting. I feel like everyone, though, has to dip into that to stay relevant. You see Facebook, they try to, but it's a dying breed.
True that. Yeah, well, I think that is everything for this episode. Episode 10.
Episode 10.
Episode 10 of the Shogun Social Media Podcast. If you liked the sound of this, then please follow us, give us a like, tell us down below in the comments what you thought of the episode. And yeah, make sure you follow for the next episode as well. My name is George, and we've had
Freddie
and
Liv.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.